how you're doing. A garbled thought on media consumption. Just a mind dump on media consumption. Because yesterday, I mentioned how the Nintendo Switch now has media streaming apps. I think it's always had, in the UK, it's always had like YouTube on it. But I've been really hardcore with this device where I've never been with anything else, even though this has a feature or two that makes it like ideal for pretty much everything I'd want a device to do as far as consumption is concerned. But I'm not super anal with anything that I do consumption based unless it's the Switch. Like audio, I've got a DAP, you know, digital audio player. For the people who aren't in the clue, MP3 player. Oh look, I've got another one. I've got a headphone amplifier. Headphones, I've probably got like 10 different pairs of headphones around me. I mean, here you go. Can't actually get them, but like, look here. You know, earbuds, in-ear earbuds. There's a pair of Bluetooth earbuds there. What have we got here? Bose QC35-2s. I've got like probably 10 different pairs at least headphones around me. I've got like phones and other devices that I can use to consume media on. But I don't do it on the Switch. Okay, but I do have some weird preferences in where I choose to consume my media. And some things that really make media consumption really, really awkward. Again, I'm not as bad as some of my friends whereby, I don't know, a film for some of my friends has to be consumed on a home cinema setup. A big screen TV with a nice surround sound setup, that's your film. A YouTube video, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, TV as like kind of a, you know, you've got the house to yourself kind of thing. Music would usually be consumed by people on their phones these days, you know, stuff like that. I'm not bothered by any of that. In fact, actually, oddly enough, one of the places that I really don't like consuming media is this thing, an iPad. I don't like it. I just absolutely hate it, even though, traditionally speaking, this would be fantastic for me because, well, it's got a nice screen, it's got nice audio, decent connectivity, I can watch films and anime and YouTube and all that kind of stuff, but I don't use it because I consume in a weird way to most other people, and this doesn't count. Like a phone, I don't really consume media on my phone because I have a weird quirk against phones and tablets that most people don't. Like music, I've got the DAPs, right? These are for when I want to be away from my phone, which is most of the time. I hate people interrupting stuff I'm doing by sending me a message or calling me or whatever like that. Like, unless it's like super important, like, I don't know, my wife is calling or someone's calling about my kids or my mum is calling, something like that. Don't call me. It's annoying. I don't, like, if I'm like listening to music and I get a text message, fuck. Most of my social stuff is paired to a phone number, but I won't access it unless I'm on my computer. So I actually have to open up an app, like back when I was a teenager, because I'm an old man now, to actually get any kind of message or connectivity. So loads and loads and loads of people message me throughout the day and think that I'm ignoring them because, well, they're like, well, everyone's got their phone, right? All my stuff's on my computer. If I'm not on that computer, I'm not replying to you. Only reason I have this is because my children got iPads for Christmas and I set up the parental control features on an old Apple account I had. I didn't have an Apple device, and Apple, unlike every other company on the planet, don't make an app for parental control. They bake it directly into the operating system, so I had to get an Apple device. Yay. But, so, it's like, I assume most people do most things on their phone. They'll consume like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, some Netflix, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. It's all on their phones or their tablets. I doubt many people would sit and watch a film at their computer. Right? I will. I'm not like that. Right? I don't want to use my phone for really anything other than YouTube. My TV still gets treated like a main part of the house to a degree, but the place I prefer to consume content is probably my computer or my laptop, my PC or my laptop. Because otherwise, if it's like a phone or a tablet, I want to be disconnected, right? If I'm going to consume media. But then, this is where the Switch comes in, right? If it's a PlayStation or an Xbox, I don't mind firing up like Netflix, Prime Video, Spotify even for music or podcasts, Funimation, Crunchyroll, that kind of stuff, VRV. Like, I don't mind launching them on that, but for some reason on this, I was just like, no. Even though now this has some of the apps that I would stream on. Here's the trick. The feature that makes this really good is, by design, it's a switch. It goes from handheld to connected up to a telly, right? So I think to myself, I could be watching Trigun, Rurouni Kenshin, something like that, and I'm watching it on my Switch. Just, oh yeah, man, this is well good. The Switch's screen isn't fantastic quality. That doesn't matter because I've got laptops with worse screens. And I'm like, oh man, that's well good. And then I can just go, oh well, I'm doing whatever now. Ba-dunk, clunk it into the dock, and bam, it just continues on my television. Fantastic feature, but for some reason I don't use this to watch anything. Probably actually because this keeps track of everything that you do. It puts a timer on it and will adjust an application's place in your app drawer based on how long you've played on it. Now, someone will say, well, you could just arrange things by title, but in doing so, I've got hundreds of games on this thing, more games than I could ever possibly play. Organising things in alphabetical order is a fucking nightmare. And just watching trash games or trash anything just kind of move up my playlist is always infuriating. On Steam does the exact same thing. I'm like, oh my god, why is that of all things at like the top of my most played section? Like, if you just leave a game idling, it does my fucking head in. My primary consumption is probably YouTube or Spotify. So I like homegrown content and music, or podcasts. I don't really watch many films. If I do, it could be anywhere. It could be over a jank pair of earbuds, it could be on a wanky ass laptop screen with terrible colours. I cannot, again, watch stuff on my phone. As a last resort, maybe, but it's not comfortable. Viewing isn't ideal. Even if the screen's really nice, it's really tiny. If you're watching anything with subtitles, can't do it. I hate people who watch content and you can actually hear what they're watching. Like, I don't want to hear what you're watching. Like, take it the fuck away from me. If I wanted to know what that was, I'd watch it myself, kind of thing. It just seems really old school that I'm putting off certain devices that are probably actually better for the job than what I use. You know, like my laptop, it's there. It's behind me. I've got another backpack, probably about 3 feet away with another laptop in it that I would probably rather watch something on than an iPad or a phone. I just have this thing against those devices just because of how connected they are. But it's because of how connected they are that they're so useful to people. I want the perfect world and I'll never have it. But my streaming habits are a bit jank. Like I said, could be crappy earbuds on a crappy screen. I'll watch a film, you know, or I'll watch a YouTube video or whatever. But like, I don't seem to prioritize the places that everyone else does. I know people who, like I said, who will only watch a film on a telly, or they'll only watch a YouTube video on a phone. I want to know what put people into that mindset. Is the phone so popular because we just use it for found time? You know, oh, I've got like 10 minutes here on a bus, or I'm taking a dump, or whatever it is that you're doing. I'm going to bust out my phone or my tablet. Why is it that things like laptops and desktop computers have fallen out of favour for consumption? Have they fallen out of favour for consumption? I don't know. Is the idea that maybe this isn't as connected as it could be, could that be a put off? Because I suppose actually thinking about it, that's the benefit that, you know, one of these has, or a phone has, over a Switch, is that you don't actually have to be tethered to your home connection. You can be on a bus or whatever and still consume your media. This has to be at home or tethered to a phone, which you could then use to watch the content you want to watch. I'm tempted to try and use this though, just because the idea of being able to watch and dock is just neat. I mean, that's why I've installed Funimation and Crunchyroll on here, because they're pretty much the only other two places I use, other than, as I said, YouTube, Spotify, Crunchyroll and Funimation, and I think Crunchyroll and Funimation are now one and the same. So I don't use the other services, so everything I want is here. Well, Spotify isn't, I don't think, but fuck Spotify. I ain't going to put Spotify on a screen like this or over the speakers like this. I'd rather, again, use a pair of earbuds or headphones or whatever. But it's just a mind dump. I can't quite get my head around why I'm so anal with the Switch and not with everything else. Probably about 20 minutes that could have been 5. But I do love the Switch though. It is a great little device. But it seems to be really neglected in the app department, at least in the UK, because I've heard that there are other services on it in other countries. In fact, actually, some people I know used the Switch as like a smart TV style device back when it came out, when Netflix, was it Netflix or YouTube or an app came out on it, and it just became like this big thing that people used to watch media. Like, you'd see some of my friends would have like 800 hours on like YouTube or whatever. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's just here that we don't have many apps. Initially, as I said, I kind of crapped over the idea of using an app on a Switch when I was okay with doing it on an Xbox or a PlayStation. Even though the Switch is the better one, because you can pull it out your bag or dock it or whatever. Why do we consume all of our content on devices that we can be interrupted onto? I don't... It just seems like such a dumb thing to do to me. You're trying to watch a cool film, or you're trying to whatever, and all of a sudden messages and phone calls come through. It just seems so dumb. I hate it when I'm listening to music and I get a phone call or a text. It really pisses me off. Which is partly why, again, I separate everything. I just can't stand it. I can't stand it. But then I am an antisocial twat. I'm also getting fucking sick and tired of streaming companies separating everything. We used to have all of these licenses, but we don't anymore. Just work on a universal license, bellend, or region locking. Fuck off. It's digital content, you tit. Like, it should just be worldwide release. Fucking done, son. And regional pricing too, you can shove that up your ass. If you can sell it for $1.50 XYZ place, it should be $1.50 fucking everywhere. Yeah, mate, but fucking these people earn way more money because of blah blah blah, and these people earn pennies. It's like, well, clearly your content ain't worth that much, and you're more than happy to take a massive cut just so you get some fucking money. Again, piracy is a distribution problem. I'm an old man. I like to be connected when I'm sat at my desk and disconnected everywhere else. I still just can't get on with streaming stuff. It's lovely, convenient, you know, all that kind of stuff, but when licenses disappear and the content you want to watch just vanishes, or it's one of those kind of fear of missing out dealios where a license it's going to expire in a couple of days and you have to make that time, fuck, it pisses me off. Really pisses me off. Digital dinosaur. Wait, and just quickly, highlight of the day. Fucking Monster Hunter Rise. Divine and I steamrolled. We did most of HR2 yesterday. Completely curb-stomped HR3. And we're now HR4, so I caught up with the wife. The funny thing is, and we've been joking about it for the last few days now, Divine and I play games on streams and in videos like we've never played these games before. I've had comments on the EDF stuff saying that they've never seen players rush in like how we do. And it's kind of almost like it's a noobish kind of thing to do. But then people are surprised that we've lasted as long as we have. I was like, for me, I've been playing these games since EDF 2017. Like on the Xbox. And in the case of Monster Hunter, I've been playing Monster Hunter games since the PS2. So like I have a pedigree in these games that just doesn't translate in video. Like I have enough playtime and my hunter rank and stuff it's in the newer games it's so low you would think, oh mate, look at this noob, look at this complete noob. But I've been around for decades. But yeah, great time playing with Divine today and Monster Hunter and everyone that came to join. Dark Rider has picked up Monster Hunter on the PC, so I think I'll be playing that tomorrow. But there are some bugs, but that's tomorrow. See ya.